Hello viewers and welcome back to North Queensland International. It's been a while, apologies. Last couple of weeks I've been unwell, had a cold and it was pretty bad. The throat was quite sore and just been coughing and sneezing a lot, but I didn't really want to strain my voice too much, but yeah, I'm alright now and it's time to get back into NQX. I've moved NQX again. It's now back in the middle of my room. Just because it was getting a bit hard to reach over to the other side, in the corner where it was over here. It was just a little bit hard to reach over from one side of the airport to the other to set up the international terminal, which I've moved into this corner by itself. Which will be okay for now until I can possibly find somewhere with more room. And it was just getting hard to, pick the models up off the shelf and put them on. I even had to move the Qantas wide bodies onto another shelf. But yeah. Anyway, we'll get back over to NQX. Okay, we're back. So since the last update, I've gotten 2 more models. One of them is on the display, you can see it there. And I've redone the domestic terminal, given it a few more gates, bit of a change in the design as well. It's not completely finished, I still have to finish the service road, do any of do the footpaths and stuff over these gates. I've added another board just for these bays here. Now it goes from bay 1 down here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And over here we've got Qantas, QantasLink and Australian Airlines. In the middle we've got Ansett. Over here we've got, is where Virgin Australia parks, usually these two here. And then over here is just common use, so really just Jetstar and Bonza. It's quiet over at the regional terminal today, so there's going to be nothing there, except for these two, which I'll start with. We've got the 2 Alliance Airlines Fokker 100s in the Southern Cross minor livery and the regular livery. They're just sitting there. They have no more flights on Monday, and we'll get started on the terminal. So on bay 15 here we have Qantas 737-800 with the split scimitars in 2007 livery. This has arrived from Sydney as Qantas 922 and will be returning as Qantas 923. Next to that we've got a QantasLink Airbus A220-300 in the regular livery. This has arrived from Uluru, which is a new route, as QLink 1932. As with all of QantasLink's A220 routes from NQX, their real-life counterparts from Cairns are operated by Embraer 190s, but don't have any of those, so A220s will do. Next to that, we've got an Australian Airlines Boeing 737-300, which arrived from Sydney as Australian 474. And apologies, I couldn't quite see the bay plan from over here. It will be returning to Sydney as Australian 427. Next we have the Ansett Boeing 767-200 on bay, 8. This arrived from Sydney as Ansett 912 Heavy and will be returning as... Apologies again, couldn't quite see that. We'll be returning to Sydney as Ansett 249 Heavy. Next to that, we've got an Ansett Airbus A320. This arrived from Brisbane as Ansett 62 and will be returning as Ansett 75, I think that looks like. Next to that, on bay 3, we've got Jetstar Airbus A320 in the 2012 livery without the sharklets. This arrived from Sydney as Jetstar 952 and will be returning as Jetstar 953. And finally for Terminal 1, we have on Bay 2, we have Shazza. This arrived from Rockhampton as Bonza 912 and will be heading back down to the sunny coast as Bonza 586. Just arriving on runway 15 and will be likely doing a touch and go is this Royal Australian Air Force Boeing C-17A Globemaster 3. This is arriving from RAAF base Amberley as Stallion 23 Heavy and will be returning there as the same call sign. And then finally, the last movement of this update is new model, and this will be seen every day, is the Japan Airlines Airbus A350-1000, which is just pushing back from Bay 33 here, and we'll be heading off to Tokyo Narita as Japan Air 776 Heavy. This arrived from Brisbane as Japan Air 776 Heavy. What happens with JAL is I was able to find a timetable of theirs from 1993, because they did used to fly to Cairns back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they were quite big up there. They would have at least 2 747s a day, most days. So what happens is, I decided to do a split schedule, so Monday, Wednesday, Sunday, I think it is, it operates Tokyo NQX Brisbane NQX Tokyo as JL 775 776, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday operates I think it's JL 771, I'll have to check, to on Osaka NQX Sydney, and then heads back to Osaka direct from Sydney. And then on Fridays it terminates at NQX, so it goes Tokyo NQX and then returns back to Tokyo Narita. So yeah, you'll be seeing this aircraft quite a lot. And yeah, as I said, that arrived earlier. It would have arrived in the last update, but I hadn't even bought it by then. Ordered it. It arrived from Brisbane then, and now it's going to be continuing back onto Tokyo once it's been pushed back. So yeah, that's all for this update. Again, apologies for the absence, but just thought my health was more important, so yeah. Hope you're all doing well, and before I finish, I'll try and do a couple more updates of NQX this year, and then coming out on New Year's Eve will be my collection update for the year. Well, it won't be all the models I have in my collection, it'll just be the aircraft I got this year, so all 25, assuming that the 2 I've got on order from 3D Design Deck arrive before the end of the year. If not, then it'll just be 23 aircraft in that video, but I'm hoping that they do arrive on time, so it will be 75. 25 in the update, 75 in the collection. Yeah, and I'm hoping to do some more stuff next year, maybe some more flight sim stuff. Maybe I'll do a video before the end of the year about just a recap on the year. Maybe include some shots from the Avalon Air Show, or when I went to Newcastle back in May, and maybe have a bit of a chat about when I got my CPL. But yeah, if you want any of those sorts of videos, definitely let me know. Yeah, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.